Good afternoon and welcome to the 2021 Ambassador Spring Tea. My name is Holly Dietrich and I'm an admissions counselor. Each year, the ambassadors hold a tea to celebrate our heritage from the Sisters of Mercy, induct new ambassadors, and honor the graduating ambassadors. We'd like to thank you for celebrating this special occasion with all of us. Now, if you'd please welcome Mercyhurst University Chaplain Father Jim Pisker as he leads us in prayer.
Let us pray. Gracious God, in the Gospels we are called by Jesus to be salt and light, to expend ourselves on behalf of others in the ordinariness of life. In these young women and men who we celebrate today, we acknowledge their role as ambassadors for Mercyhurst University, but more importantly, we recognize their willingness to expend themselves on behalf of others as ministers of hospitality and living witnesses of your charge. Knowing that you are with us in this gathering, open our hearts and minds to that which we are called to know and to be through our presence here. We ask this through Christ our Lord.
It's my pleasure to introduce Mercyhurst University's Director of Undergraduate Admissions, Christian Beyer.
Thanks, Holly. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2021 Ambassador Spring Tea. My name is Christian Beyer, and I'm the Director of Undergraduate Admissions. And on behalf of the university, I want to welcome and thank you all for being here with us today as we recognize the hard work of our student ambassadors. These students embody the spirit and mission of the university and work every day to help carry out the duties and responsibilities of our office. We are excited to welcome our new class of ambassadors and celebrate our graduating seniors today. All of these students seated here today have exemplified hard work and dedication, and we are glad to honor their hard work this past year. I'd now like to welcome Holly back on stage as we sing the Alma Mater.
We will now stand and join together to sing the Mercyhurst Alma Mater, led by Ryan Comstock on piano, Kaylee Pisani on vocals, and the lyrics are found on the last page in your program. I would now like to invite the Vice President of Enrollment, Joe Howard, to speak on the role of an ambassador.
Thank you, Holly. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Spring Tea. It's an unusual one, but I appreciate all the family members who went to great effort to make it here today to celebrate with your students. To those about to sign their ambassador oath, the inductees, to our current ambassadors, our seniors, to my colleagues at the university here, and I understand some of our sophomores and juniors and other colleagues and Sisters of Mercy are joining via Zoom. So welcome to our Spring Ambassador Tea. It's a ceremony that traces its roots back 25 years since the founding of the Ambassador Organization. And I start this talk, so my talk is about the role of ambassador, and I start in a somewhat unusual place with a discussion of Isaac Newton, right? So there's a quote that's often cited about Isaac Newton in reference to the way in which the academy, and when I'm talking about the academy here, I'm talking about the collection of colleges and universities throughout space and time, how the academy goes about creating new knowledge. In a letter to one of his intellectual rivals, Newton, a very humble man, wrote, "If I have seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants." Now, what Newton is referencing there are the centuries of scientists that preceded him. He's recognizing that his own theories of gravity or theories of motion would have been impossible absent discoveries that preceded him. Without Copernicus theorizing that the planets revolve around a sun, without Galileo studying the movement of stars, or without Descartes coming up with incredible mathematical theorems, Newton's discoveries would quite frankly have been impossible. They would have had no foundation upon which to even be conceived. Without the knowledge that came before him, Newton literally wouldn't have a starting place to posit his own work. Newton's point in acknowledging the shoulders of giants was to illustrate the ways in which the knowledge progresses based on the incremental contributions of the forebears, the giants who came before him. The Mercyhurst story, too, would be impossible absent the giants who preceded us. And while there are many giants whose contributions helped build and shape our university, the giants who I want each of you to be mindful of, for those entering the role and those about to graduate, are the impressive women who founded an order and built our school. Today's inductees, it is the legacy of these women you pledge as part of your oath to preserve and to transmit to those who come after you. To me, as I said to you on our very first interaction with each other, the Mercyhurst story remains one of the most unlikely stories in unlikely times. And it really is due to three women who sort of we can trace our lineage through. First, there's Catherine McCauley, a devout Catholic and founder of the Sisters of Mercy. After inheriting a fortune from a Quaker family, she uses the funds to open a house of charity, the House of Mercy, on Bagot Street in Dublin, Ireland. There, she allied with like-minded women to provide education and support to poor women and their children. Her charity was not without its naysayers, and over time, Catherine begins the process of founding a new religious community, the Sisters of Mercy. But this order of women religious would be different, at Catherine's insistence, different than her contemporaries. Catherine insisted that her sisters pledge an additional fourth vow of service and that they not observe a cloister, instead insisting that she and her sisters be permitted to leave the convent and minister to people directly. The Sisters of Mercy are the first order of women religious to not observe a cloister. Next, we have Catherine's close friend, Frances Ward, the woman responsible for bringing mercy to the Americas. She and her pioneer sisters trekked a treacherous journey across the Atlantic and brought mercy to America. During her vocation, Frances founded communities of mercy in Ireland, England, and in the States, foundational communities in Pittsburgh, Chicago, and Providence, Rhode Island. Her leadership led to the creation of hundreds of health and educational ministries throughout the United States. So prolific and visionary was Frances that it is believed that she holds the historical record for the most religious communities and ministries founded by a single individual, man or woman. And finally, there's the giant that is the Mercyhurst story, literally and figuratively, Mother Borgia Egan. Borgia was a woman of impressive stature, intellectual fortitude, vision, and earnestness. She and her pioneer sisters, 11 in total, struck out from Titusville to Erie, Pennsylvania. They went door to door selling bonds and candy to raise funds for the Mercyhurst Project. Borgia crafted a vision of a magnificent structure, what we now call Old Main and Egan Hall, that's visage would communicate grandeur, excellence, and aspiration. She sent several of her fellow sisters off to university to earn PhDs while her school was being built, so that she'd have a fully qualified faculty when she opened her doors. And when the construction workers went on strike, Borgia and her peers went to work assembling furniture, hanging doors, and ensuring that the school opened on schedule. As a testament to her conviction to excellence, Mercyhurst was one of the very first Catholic colleges in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to receive an official charter from the Pennsylvania Department of Education. Her steady and visionary leadership would carry Mercyhurst through a Great Depression, a World War, with Mercyhurst growing in size and reputation despite these challenging circumstances. These three women faced insurmountable odds in crafting their vision for a better world, a better nation, and a better future for higher education. So the title of this talk is The Role of Ambassadors. So what might all of this have to do with your role? I will restate something I told you on night one. Ambassadors are not simply tour guides. Yes, you give tours, you open doors, you welcome guests to our campus. That work is in part how you make manifest your role, but it is not the full scope of your duties. It is a mere expression of your purpose. In recent years, as Mercyhurst has faced the reality of fewer and fewer sisters of mercy in our midst, we've been working hard to double down on their values and vision as central to our identity. You and the role of ambassadors are central to that effort. Your role, your charge upon donning your green jacket, and in perpetuity, is to capture, to preserve, and to build on, and to pass on to future generations of Lakers the story, the legacy, the magic, and the traditions that you inherited from the giants that came before you. To be keepers of the Mercyhurst story, to be enthusiastic champions of the magic and spirit that is Mercyhurst, to share that spirit with all you encounter, be them peers or guests you're welcoming to campus. Quite simply, your role is to keep the legacy alive in all that we do. Finally, to the seniors who we're honoring tonight, on behalf of President Nicastro and my colleagues in Cabinet, I sincerely thank you for the service you've provided Mercyhurst over your years here. You've made your mark on this institution and served the Sisters' vision with humility, grace, and conviction. As graduation approaches and the frenzy around transitions to the job market or graduate school grows more fierce, I hope you take some time to reflect on your contributions to the Hearst and the special place this university holds in your hearts. And remember what I reminded you of during the pledge process. As alumni, make it your responsibility to hold your alma mater accountable. If you see Mercyhurst behaving in ways that run counter to the Mercyhurst you know and love, make your voice heard. Contact the alumni office, contact our president. Finally, seniors, please always remember the gates are always open and Hearst is always home. Stay involved, visit frequently, keep the alumni office informed of where life takes you, and answer calls to serve in the future as potential members of the alumni board, future trustees, or perhaps a future president. With that, thank you all for your time. Congratulations, inductees. Congratulations, graduates. Carpe diem. It's now my pleasure to welcome outgoing Ambassador President Braden Barnett to the stage to talk with you about how our inductees became ambassadors. And I managed to lose my mask. Thanks, Braden.
Hello. Each year, students interested in becoming an ambassador go through quite an extensive pledge process. They begin with individual interviews and participate in various group activities. From there, they attend weekly classes with a variety of speakers to learn both the history of Mercyhurst along with everything there is to know about Mercyhurst and how it stands today. They are tested on this knowledge, yes, with actual tests and quizzes, and this isn't even part of accredited class. And a certain number of students are finally selected to continue on to give speeches and tours for current ambassadors and admissions. These students are mentored by current ambassadors and are meticulously trained on how to give an exemplary Mercyhurst tour. Most importantly, however, they learn to embody the Mercy mission, that is, the legacy of the Sisters of Mercy to serve. In the leadership positions they are now in, they will serve this university and others daily by constantly being helpful and hospitable. It cannot go unrecognized that these pledges have the added challenges of navigating a pledge process through a pandemic. They face technological difficulties, less in-person interaction, as well as plans and schedules being changed on a moment's notice. In light of all these unforeseen circumstances, they are now new ambassadors sitting before you today, having accomplished all these tasks with grace and professionalism. It has been a pleasure to work with each one of them, and I'm super excited to witness their passion and talents being introduced into our ambassador organization. At this time, I would like mentor co-chairs Julia Rest and Elizabeth Mead to come forward.
Good afternoon, and thank you all for being here to witness such an important and memorable Mercyhurst tradition. As Mercyhurst ambassadors, it is our duty to embrace and embody the spirit of the Sisters of Mercy. Our fellow ambassadors can agree that being an ambassador is one of, if not the most important and rewarding jobs that an undergraduate student can have during their time here, as we are fortunate enough to help preserve the Mercyhurst tradition and values. That being said, the process that we went through to become ambassadors was one that requires a lot of time, hard work, practice, and dedication.
Luckily, ambassador pledges receive mentors to guide them through their pledge process. And this year, as mentor chairs, Elizabeth and I had the pleasure of working with outstanding mentors that helped shape the impressive pledge class sitting before you today. These mentors spent countless hours walking or video chatting the tour route, listening to speeches, and giving encouragement and support to their pledges while adapting and persevering during an unconventional pledge process. Often throughout the semester, our mentors had to adjust at a moment's notice to unfamiliar modifications made to our standard pledge process. So we thank all of our mentors for their flexibility, patience, and grace when dealing with a constantly changing pledge process.
The mentors' passion for Mercyhurst and for the ambassador organization was evident in all of their work, and these mentors represent the qualities that all Mercyhurst ambassadors should strive to embody. Today, we would like to recognize these dedicated leaders and thank them for their contribution to the Mercyhurst Ambassador Program. Mentors, if you're with us in person, when we say your name, if you could please stand, face the audience, and remain standing until all mentors have been recognized. Some of our mentors are unable to join us in person today, but we would still like to recognize their hard work virtually. Family and friends, if you could please hold all of your applause until all mentors have been named. We will now introduce our mentor committee for the pledge class of 2020 to 2021. Nick Broadfreer, Libby Bullinger, Peyton Carroll, Tyler Cox, Rebecca Dunphy, Isabella Fragnoli, Joey Franz, Dominic Fucci, Shannon Gotham, Alexa Carner,
Sarah Klein, Sydney Knapp, Evan Medvick, Annika Pearson, Braden Razacheski, Skylar Speciale, Lauren Tone, Michaela Tupac, Sarah Wallace, and Sanaya Yates. At this time, I'd like everyone to join me in congratulating and thanking our mentors for the class of 2020. Mentors, you may now be seated. Thank you all again for joining us today to take part in this very special tradition. I would now like to invite our pledge chairs, Elizabeth Becker and Sydney Zajac, to induct the new ambassadors.
Sydney and I had the distinct pleasure of working with all the new ambassadors this past semester. As Braden mentioned, they have worked very hard to get to this point, and we are so proud of all they have accomplished, especially given the many challenges that we faced as part of the pandemic. Today, they will receive their green jackets and sign the ambassador oath.
The oath reads as follows. I, their name, pledge to represent Mercyhurst University with pride, professionalism, and respect for time-honored traditions started by the Sisters of Mercy. I vow to meet all with mercy and hospitality and rise to the occasion anytime my services are needed. I will exemplify the Carpe Diem ethos of our community and embrace each opportunity to better myself in service to all. I'm an ambassador today and always. Please hold all of your applause till the end.
Carissa Boudet. Carissa's hometown is Pittsburgh, PA. Her major is fashion merchandising. And a fun fact is that she shares the same birthday with Mother Borgia Egan, Mercyhurst's founder.
Next, we have Skyla Burgess. Her hometown is Phillips, Maine. Her major is art therapy with a minor in psychology, and her fun fact is that she has created and painted 3 different murals for schools in the Erie area.
Jenna Crump. Jenna's hometown is Pittsburgh, PA. Her major is intelligence studies. And a fun fact is that she played basketball for 13 years before college.
Jordan Dickinson. Her hometown is Bradford, PA. Her major is a double major in psychology and biology with neuroscience. And a fun fact is that she likes random trivia, especially animal trivia.
Rachel Diagardi. Her hometown is Rochester, New York. Her major is applied forensic science with a concentration in biology and a minor in photography. And a fun fact is that she enjoys photography in her free time.
Ethan Hauk. His hometown is Bay Village, Ohio. His major is cybersecurity, and his fun fact is that he does landscape photography.
Gracie Knaufel. Gracie's hometown is Erie, PA. Her major is intelligence studies with a double minor in cybersecurity and criminal justice. And a fun fact is that she grew up on Mercyhurst's campus. Her mom was pregnant with her in Old Main.
Tessa Korchak. Her hometown is Marinville, PA. Major is music therapy, and her fun fact is that she spends most of her summer camping.
Bella Lee. Bella's hometown is Laurel, Maryland. Her major is public history, and a fun fact is that she's the only girl out of 3 brothers.
Addie McCoy. Her hometown is Ashtabula, Ohio. Her major is music therapy, and her fun fact is that she is good at roller skating.
Hallie Mihasevich. Her hometown is Chesterland, Ohio. Her major is international business and accounting with minors in economics and Spanish. And a fun fact is that she collects postcards for every place she travels to.
Caitlin Morris. Her hometown is Buffalo, New York. Her major is music therapy, and a fun fact is that she has traveled to 5 different countries.
Hunter Sage. His hometown is Erie, PA. His major is nursing, and a fun fact is that he's an Eagle Scout.
Michaela Shortini. Her hometown is Buffalo, New York. Major is a social work with a minor in music, and her fun fact is that she can sing. Also, she could play the violin, guitar, and ukulele.
Addie Settlemeyer. Addie is from Erie, PA. Her major is graphic design and marketing. And a fun fact is that one of her hobbies is painting miniature paintings.
Rondell Smith. His hometown is Columbus, Ohio. He's a double major in psychology and criminal justice with a minor in theater, and his fun fact is that he loves theater and football.
Danielle Toomey. Danielle is from Frederick, Maryland. Her major is dance, And a fun fact is that she was born in Texas.
Vidalia Weatherly. Her hometown is Altoona, PA. She's a double major in political science and criminal justice, and she has competed in mock trial competitions along the East Coast since the 7th grade.
Samantha Weber. Samantha is from Pittsburgh, PA. Her major is business and competitive intelligence. And a fun fact is that she has a pet goldfish for over 6 years, and he is still going strong.
Janice Withers. Her hometown is Chicago, Illinois. She's majoring in fashion merchandising, and a fun fact is that she has a pit bull named Cooper, and he is the best cuddle buddy.
Samantha Woods. Her hometown is Buffalo, New York. Her major is intelligence studies. And a fun fact is that her favorite colors are blue and green, so she was excited when they were Mercyhurst's colors.
Will all of our new ambassadors please stand in turn and let us all join in recognizing their achievements.
I would now like to invite Holly Dietrich to oversee the transition of officers.
Each year, at the end of the fall semester, the ambassadors hold an election. During this process, every member of the organization is allowed to submit a letter of intent for an executive office. After submitting a letter of intent, each candidate presents their idea to the organization. The candidates are then voted on by the entire organization and the admissions department. Each position is incredibly important and helps to ensure that the organization runs effectively. It takes an individual with a great deal of dedication, passion for the ambassador organization as a whole and the Mercyhurst community to fulfill these positions. As a parent, one of our biggest accomplishments we have is our children. Craig and Andrea, Dale and Rosemary, your children, Braden and Katie, have shown resilience, maturity, professionalism, compassion, strength. They have gracefully and graciously carried the ambassadors and our admissions staff through this trying year. Their leadership positions did not shake out the way they expected, but they carried on with no complaints, just perseverance and a smile. They have been a joy to work with, and you should all be so proud. There is nothing better than knowing that your child has left a positive imprint on others' lives. Braden and Katie, we cannot express how much this organization will miss you, both professionally and personally. We have no doubt that both of you will have extremely successful careers. Please come back and see us. At this time, I'd like to ask the outgoing ambassadors, Braden and Katie, to come forward. Braden Barnett, outgoing president, and Katie Johnson, vice president. These ambassadors have nothing but heart and dedication for the organization over the year in our office. At this time, however, it's time for them to pass on their ambassador roles to the 2021 officers. New officers Tori Altsman and Michaela Tupek come forward at this time. Tori Altsman and Michaela Tupek. To signify this transition, the outgoing officers will pin the new officers with a name tag that states their name and new position. At this time, please join me in congratulating the 2021 Ambassador Executive Board. Tori, do you want to come up?
Thank you, everyone. While today is a time to celebrate the induction of our newest ambassadors, it also greatly saddens us to say goodbye to our graduating ambassadors, who have dedicated countless hours of time and service to Mercyhurst. The ambassador organization as a whole is full of outstanding, devoted young people, and this year's seniors class is absolutely no exception, overcoming the unknowns and uniqueness that this last year has brought us especially.
Today, we show our gratitude to all. They are exceptional role models, leaders, people, and friends, and we wish them all the best luck in their future endeavors. We will now call up each graduating ambassador, but we ask that all applause be held until the end. Thank you.
Joel Basenbach. Joel's major is biology with a concentration in pre-medicine. Joel's future plans will be to pursue his osteopathic medical degree at the West Virginia School of Osteopathic Medicine in Lewisburg, West Virginia. His favorite ambassador memory is getting to see all of the outgoing seniors one last time at spring tea each year and getting to sing the ambassador song.
Lucy Bello. Lucy's major is Spanish education. Her future plans will be moving to Ohio, and she will be looking for a job to teach Spanish or teaching English language learners. Lucy's favorite ambassador memory was working on campus as a summer ambassador. That summer made her fall more in love with Mercyhurst and made her want to live and work on campus every summer after.
Marina Boyle. Marina's major is business and competitive intelligence. Marina's future plans will be working as a financial crimes investigator at KeyBank and staying connected to the Hearst. Her favorite ambassador memory is interviewing the oldest sisters of Mercy to archive their stories and hearing their jokes and advice for our generation.
Trey Catalano. Trey's major is political science and history. Trey's future plans will be attending the Washington University School of Law in St. Louis to pursue his JD. His favorite ambassador memory is playing Uno in the Roost with some of his best friends he could ask for after every ambassador meeting.
Trey Dietrich. Trey's major is intelligence studies. In the future, Trey will be getting married in the summer of 2022. His favorite ambassador memory is going to the Mercyhurst Gannon football game and tailgate.
Rebecca Dunphy. Rebecca's majors are dance and criminal justice. Her future plans is that Rebecca has accepted a position with a government agency in Baltimore and will continue to pursue her master's degree in criminal justice administration with the goal of one day becoming a special agent. Her favorite ambassador memory is when at the end of a tour, a father said, "It felt like I just got a tour from a little Disney princess."
June Durkee. June's major is hospitality management. June's future plans are that she will spend the summer doing an internship as a thought leadership and event management intern with the Sports and Fitness Industry Association located in Silver Spring, Maryland. Her favorite ambassador memory was spending summer 2019 on campus as a summer ambassador and a junior counselor for the CREATE program sponsored by the AIM department.
Emma Farrell. Emma's major is psychology. Her future plans are undecided yet, but she will have them after graduation. Emma's favorite ambassador memory was when Christian Cooper paraded around outside of the Student Union at the 2018 Club Fair, dancing to "The One That Got Away" by Katy Perry to advertise the ambassador organization.
Isabella Fragnoli. Her major is intelligence studies. Her future plans are that she'll be moving to New York City to work as a contractor for Pfizer's Global Security Operations Center. Her favorite ambassador memory is meeting some of the best friends she's ever had.
Shannon Gotham. Shannon's major is fashion merchandising and political science. Shannon's future plans are to attend law school. Her favorite ambassador memory was building Fort Ambassador with Trey.
Haley Huntley. Her major is dance. Her future plans include working on her master's in organizational leadership and pursuing her career as a professional dancer. Her favorite ambassador memory is on her first solo tour while walking backwards. She slipped on some ice and caught herself just before landing in a pile of snow.
Sarah Klein. Sarah's major is intelligence and international relations. Sarah's future plans include attending the University of Toronto to work towards her Master's of Global Affairs degree. Her favorite ambassador memory is attending Christ Giving each year.
Meg Lynn. Meg's major is intelligence studies. Her future plans include moving to Philadelphia to start a new job in June. And her favorite ambassador memory is that Mercyhurst has given her the best experience and friends of her life thus far.
Jillian Mazer. Jillian's major is graphic design. Her future plans include to return to Mercyhurst in the fall and complete her final semester and hopefully graduate with a graphic design job. Jillian's favorite ambassador memory is meeting all of her great friends through the pledge process and our weekly Uno nights during the past fall semester.
Eileen Reinecht. Eileen's major is applied forensic science. Her future plans are to join the AmeriCorps, and her favorite ambassador memory was seeing people that she gave tours to walking around campus.
Lauren Rogus. Lauren's major is early childhood special education and art therapy. Her favorite ambassador memory would have to be having an ambassador overnight her freshman year and then seeing the girl that stayed that night on campus and loving Mercyhurst as much as she did the following fall.
Jessica Skinker. Jessica's major is dance. Her future plans are to dance professionally and then go to graduate school to earn her master's in occupational therapy. Her favorite ambassador memory is getting an email from the first student she ever gave a tour to, thanking her for the tour, and that he wanted to let her know he committed to Mercyhurst.
Henley Spracklin. Henley's major is biology. Her future plans are to attend medical school after graduation. Henley would like to continue competing and hopes to travel around the world and race in all of the major marathons, as well as start competing in triathlons. Henley's favorite ambassador memory is getting to do events side by side with one of my best friends, Elizabeth Becker. The most memorable one, graduation freshman year.
Jeff Thompson. Jeff's major is intelligence studies. His future plans include going into the medical device sales field. And Jeff's favorite ambassador memory is watching any sports game at Mercyhurst with his friends.
Amina Yasipur. Amina's major is forensic science. Her future plan is to go into the AmeriCorps. Amina's favorite ambassador memory was when she received a handwritten thank you note from a girl that was here for an overnight visit.
Braden Barnett. Braden's major is English. His future plans are that he will be pursuing his master's in higher education administration and student affairs at Kent State University with a graduate assistantship in residential services. His favorite ambassador memory is spending his first summer of college working at the admissions office, giving multiple tours a day, and making lifelong relationships with those around him.
Elizabeth Becker. Elizabeth's major is biology. Her future plans will be attending physician's assistant school at Mercyhurst starting at the end of May. Elizabeth's favorite ambassador memory is having the incredible opportunity of being one of the pledge chairs for 2 amazing classes of pledges and being able to watch them grow into the ambassadors they are today.
Sydney Zajac. Sydney's major is psychology. Her future plans are to go to graduate school for school psychology at East Carolina. And her favorite ambassador memory was giving a tour to an awesome family, and they ended up in her group tour. They told her it was fate, and now she sees the girl around campus all the time.
Julia Rest. Julia's major is intelligence studies. Her plans after graduation is to begin a career in the intelligence community working for the federal government. Julia's favorite ambassador memory was greeting the student that she gave her first ever tour to at summer orientation for incoming freshmen a couple of years later.
Caitlin Johnston. Her major is intelligence studies. In the future, Katie plans on traveling and continue working for Telescope Research, a private investigation firm based out of New York City that focuses on fighting extremism in the US. Her favorite ambassador memory is when she gave a Friday afternoon tour, and the dad tipped her $10 so she could get him a cup of coffee.
Now, outgoing President Braden Barnett and Vice President Caitlin Johnston will announce Ambassadors of the Year.
Each year, the admissions staff selects 2 graduating seniors who exemplify what it truly means to go above and beyond the minimum requirements of an ambassador. While each and every ambassador in the Performing Arts Center today fulfills our organization's mission and demonstrates what it means to seize each moment of every day with class, dignity, and professionalism, there are 2 ambassadors who stood out over the course of this year as exemplary role models for the rest of this organization. The first ambassador is someone I have personally gotten to watch come full circle within this organization. We pledged together, had the same mentor, and now I am here to award them with Ambassador of the Year. This ambassador is someone who embodies grace and poise as a distinguished member of our fine arts community on campus. Her refined compassion and determination for excellence has shown through in all of her actions in ambassadors and has made her a shining example of what it means to wear this jacket. There is rarely an occasion where she is not willing to lend a hand or teach someone the ways. This ambassador served as a mentor for 3 years, greatly helping to improve and shape the future generations of ambassadors who will most certainly carry on in her absence. Her presence will be missed in this organization, and I challenge our remaining members to model your behavior after her. It is with great honor that I present the Ambassador of the Year award to Rebecca Dunphy.
It is with great pleasure that I have the honor of recognizing this ambassador. From the early days of our pledge process, it was clear to see that this individual represented all things an ambassador should be. He is friendly, kind, and always willing to lend a hand. I have personally seen this ambassador connect with prospective families as well as others in our organization. After giving tours and working events, he will most likely forget to log them because for him, these are not obligated tasks to complete, but joys he is passionate about. Always showing up and making his presence known, he goes above and beyond in everything he does for this organization. This past fall, I actually had class with this ambassador, and I truly do not believe there was one day he was not in his green jacket, because he constantly had one, if not 2, tours to give that day. I know he is going to accomplish all he sets out to by leading with his ambassador attitude, and I sincerely wish him the best of luck as he begins med school. Please join me in congratulating Joel Basenbach as Ambassador of the Year.
Outgoing President Braden Barnett will now share a few words, followed by Holly Dietrich with closing remarks.
Hello, ambassadors, admissions, family, and friends. I'm so thankful you could all join us today, both in person and virtually. I would also like to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to share some final thoughts before we close our ceremony. Today is a very special day for many of us. To the new ambassadors, this is your day to be recognized for all the hard work you put in throughout the pledge process. For our seniors, this is most likely the last time for us to don our green jackets before we graduate in just over 2 weeks. I think it is very inspiring to have a ceremony that recognizes, for lack of better words, the new and the old. Our new ambassadors, I encourage you to look forward at our seniors and challenge yourselves to make the most of your time as an ambassador, just as they did. To our seniors, I ask that you look at our new ambassadors and think back to being in their shoes, enjoy, and all they have ahead of them, because you know it's a lot. It's funny looking back a little over a year ago when Katie and I were sworn into these positions. I remember our conversations about what we wanted to do in our time in these roles. We talked and planned of new ideas, we met with ambassadors to see what they were hoping for in the coming year, and we challenged ourselves to find new ways of doing things while keeping ambassadors and its mission at the heart of everything. Little did we know that everyone was going to have to find new ways of doing things in the following weeks, months, and year. Through the year of adversity that was 2020, a year where it sometimes felt that even easy things took an extra 3 steps, I am so proud to say that everyone sitting in this room accomplished so much. Admissions was able to work and recruit one of the largest incoming classes in Mercyhurst history. Our pledges faced a pledge process full of extra challenges, and in spite of all that, they earned their jackets. And in the spirit of the Sisters of Mercy, our ambassadors remained resilient and braved forward as they adopted new tour routes, new policies, and a return to campus in the global pandemic, all so that they could continue doing something they loved, sharing Mercyhurst. I would love it if we could all share a round of applause for each and every one of us. I have not been able to walk through the halls of Old Main without stopping ever since History Night of 2017, when Joe Howard told us to look at the photos on the walls. These photos are filled with Mercyhurst history, and if you haven't stopped to look yet, I will echo Joe's recommendation. My favorite photo, the one I find myself looking at the most, is the one right outside of admissions of the first class of ambassadors. There are only a handful of them, and I sometimes wonder if they knew what this club would one day grow into. I think to myself, what are the similarities between us and them? What is the constant among ambassadors that remains true despite year, class size, and any other differing factor? While there are many things I'm sure I'm missing, I'd like to share what I believe to be true about every ambassador. First, nobody is in this organization to gain anything, only to give everything. Yes, the green jackets are nice, and the opportunity to join this organization is certainly a privilege. But at the end of the day, these are not the reasons we pledged. We pledged to become an ambassador to share our love of Mercyhurst, a love that runs deep inside everybody here. I think it's natural to find a good thing and want to keep as much of it to yourself as possible. Yet I've noticed Mercyhurst is the thing that ambassadors want to share as much as possible. They love the impact they get to make on campus and in the lives of prospective families. Ambassadors, please raise your hand if you knew you wanted to become an ambassador because of the positive experience you had with the ambassador who gave you your tour. We are living, breathing proof of what an ambassador is capable of by giving their time, their energy, and themselves to this organization and to this school. Leading into my next point, something true about this club is that the people make ambassadors, not the other way around. Of course, ambassadors has allowed me to grow in many ways, but when I think of ambassadors, I think of the home that it is. I think of my pledge group studying together. I think of the countless conversations in the foyer waiting for tours. I think of my first summer working in admissions where I met my best friend, and I think of our endless club photos at Christgiving and spring tea. All of my ambassador memories have to do with the pleasure of working with and getting to know the people who make up this wonderful organization, and I'm sure that most, if not all of you, can relate. The final thing I've noticed among ambassadors is that they have all left their mark on this campus in one way or another. From recruitment of students and families to the positive attitude they bring with them into every aspect of this campus, our home is better because of ambassadors who have come through it. Even looking at the countless ambassadors who have returned to work at Mercyhurst, or the ones that stay in touch no matter what, the saying is true: once an ambassador, always an ambassador. Before I pass it over to Holly to close this out, I want to thank some very well-deserving people. I would like to thank Katie Johnston for being the best VP this club could ask for, and for always having my back. I'm so grateful that we were in this year together. Thank you to the Pledge Committee, Elizabeth, Sydney, Julie, and Elizabeth. I have nothing but the fondest memories as we traverse this wild and unpredictable year. And your dedication and grace is something I hope all ambassadors in the club are able to look up to. Thank you to admissions for constantly supporting our club, and I would like to specifically name Andrea and Holly for the many meetings and your commitment to seeing this organization thrive. Andrea and Holly, if you could please join us on the stage real quick for a gift of our gratitude and a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you to Joe Howard for your many years of service to ambassadors. It goes without saying that none of us would be here without all you've done. I wish you the best of luck with your next steps and know you will be missed dearly, not only by ambassadors, but the greater Mercyhurst community. Thank you to my family for the unconditional love and encouragement you have shown me my whole life, and most of all, thank you to each and every one of you ambassadors. Your unyielding commitment and love of this organization is a reminder of why Mercyhurst is so special, because you make it that way. It has been the greatest privilege of my 4 years to serve ambassador as president, and I'm honored to join each of you in wearing this jacket for one final time. Know you will always have a place within these gates and never stop seizing the day. I'd like to close with lyrics from my favorite band, words I think every senior in the room can relate to right now. I think it's time to go now. I think my curtain's falling. Just don't forget about me when you get out of college. If it's my final album, and if I am forgotten, I hope I made you smile. That's all I ever wanted. Congratulations on your success, and we can't wait to see what you do next. Thank you, and Carpe Diem.
As we heard earlier, the process to become an ambassador is rigorous, but once you become an ambassador, you never lose the desire to wear your green jacket. You always want to offer a tour to the next future Laker, and you always want to look forward to sipping a comfortable cup of tea with the sisters. This still holds true for Joe Howard, ambassador inductee in 2000 and current vice president of enrollment. Braden mentioned how lucky we are to have Joe Howard at our helm over the last 6 years. We want to reemphasize this as well. Joe's support for ambassadors, admissions, and Mercyhurst University cannot be measured or summed up in one brief speech. Please know you are always welcome to join future spring teas, and we're going to take you up on your offer to host a history speech during the pledge process next fall. Thank you again for all you did and will continue to do for us. Your mark will forever be felt at Mercyhurst. And now if Father Jim Pisker can come up and do the benediction. And we want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. It's been really special. I think it's huge because we haven't been able to do this in a long time, so I think it means a ton to the graduates and then the incoming students. So we appreciate your time you've spent with our graduating seniors and the time that we'll have with our new ambassadors. So with that, if Father Jim would do our benediction.
Let us pray. God of great love, as we conclude our gathering, we are reminded of our covenant relationship with you and the need to express that relationship through our outreach to those around us. It is indeed a blessing that we have young women and men who have come forth to fill the role of ambassador for Mercyhurst University. They exemplify everything that is good about this institution, and they send forth a message of care and concern to all with whom they come in contact. We ask your blessing on these newly installed ambassadors, those whose service is coming to an end, and those who continue to serve the campus community. Mindful of your constant presence in our lives, we ask your blessing upon their parents, families, loved ones, and mentors within the campus community. Keep all of us ever mindful of our roles as disciples and ambassadors for your Son, Jesus Christ. We thank you for the many blessings you have bestowed on this institution, and we ask your continued blessing in all things that are right and true. May the Creator who made us, the Redeemer who saves us, and the Sanctifier who empowers us bring us ever closer to our authentic identity in this life and in the life to come. Amen.
We're going to sing our ambassador song, if everyone would stand and join us. I believe the words are in the back of the program, At the end, please feel free to leave. We will have some bento boxes, so some to-go snacks. We usually like to do tea with everyone, but due to the circumstance, we do have some fun little treats for you on your way out. So thank you for coming, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your time.